Hey there, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today we got a doozy. I sort of, I don't know if I've talked about this much in some of the ones, but I've sort of developed a fetish for a certain legacy brand of amplifiers, and seems like the earlier versions of them were a little bit more legit. Looked like they were going for kind of a precision power, old school PPI kind of look. And then I think the mid to late '90s hit, and it was like, dude, let's make these things with some crazy shit. So anyway, so we got this one, and we're gonna test it out to see if it's just a complete pile of shit or if it's really something that's decent. So, and keep in mind, all right, these things are like $30. So, not a huge investment on these things. So this is what we're working with today. This is the Legacy Red Series 2 because the one didn't work out so well. But again, it has all the same part numbers, the LA870. So they all have an NLA. I'm not sure what that means. Lousy audio, I don't know. But anyways, it says 400 watts by 4 channels. So, I didn't realize that. I guess I should be looking at that stuff. So, this amp's got a lot of stuff going on to it. It does have a remote bass knob attachment here. It's got power protect, and it's got some plugs for high level input. So this is a 4-channel amp, which is super cool. So it's got high pass, low pass on all the channels, and they're bridgeable. So the way we've got this thing configured right now is we're running these, which we're gonna do a video on this. So if you guys have seen our stuff, we did a test on some 3-way components, and we had some CT sounds stuff over here. We're gonna do a follow-up, and the follow-up video is, can I make a set of hodgepodge separates as good or better than like these Focals or these really shitty Infinity Kappas, which don't buy those, they're garbage. So anyways, so watch for that. So anyway, so that's what we're running that. And then on the other channel, we've got our kicker comp R's 10-inch bridged, and I want to say they're bridged to 2 ohms. So that's kind of cool. So we'll see what this thing does. And so what I want to do is see what kind of power output we can do on the subwoofer channel with the SMD AMM1 with music. And then we've got our load resistor setup going on here too. So what we're going to do now first is fire this baby up and get it in the right mode. So we got like a little over 100 watts, no problem. So let's try a different track, see what we got here. And that's amazing that on this one, it seems like the amp's going into clipping at a much lower wattage. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? All right, so scratch that idea. We're gonna run this thing at 4 ohms, mono, bridged, and then we'll run it at 2 ohms. So this is science here, man. This is what you do, and I should get alligator clips on there so I don't have to hold these stupid things. So, anyways. So right at 100 watts, the clipping. All right, so let's go wire this thing up. We've got 2 4-ohm 1,000-watt resistors, so we can wire them up. So we can either have an 8-ohm, a 4-ohm with one, or an 8-ohm or 2-ohm, depending on how we wire this thing. So we're gonna wire it to 2 ohms, see what it get. All right, now we got it wired to 2 ohms. And let's see what we can get. I don't think this thing's gonna put out much more power with 2 ohms than it. Yeah, it's not going into protect or anything, but it's clipping at about 114 watts. So I'm gonna say that, yeah, it's not really any more powerful at 4 ohms, 2 ohms, or whatever. So, all right, I know all you kids can't wait to see what's inside this thing. All right, well, let's take a gander at this thing. By the way, this thing doesn't weigh 8 pounds like I guesstimated it. It weighs 10 pounds. And if you look inside, this thing's, it's got plexiglass, it's got chrome, it's got aluminum. I mean, it's got all kinds of shit going on. What it doesn't have is a whole lot of anything going on inside this thing. So, yeah. I mean, it looks similar to some of the other ones. Maybe if I can pull up some pictures if I still have them of some of the other ones, but you know, really, you know, most of the complexity is here in this. This is all the crossover. I guess they call it like a daughter board or something like that. So this thing's got some little caps in it. They look like 2200 microfarad, 35 volt, 85 C yaks. Yak. You know, because it's a 4-channel, so you know, basically it's kind of got two amplifiers with one power supply. By the way, sometimes electronics, the power supplies can stay charged because of the capacitors, and you can shock the shit out of yourself if you've been running them. Just a keynote on that. It's got the part number LA870 in it. Sometimes I like to look around to see if there's maybe a date. Yeah, I don't see anything. So, anyways, so you know, this thing was kind of the same as some of the other ones that we've checked out. So here's all the specs. I've been making a sheet on these things. You know, I don't know the years of this stuff. If anybody has a clue what year this thing is, I don't, you know, let me know. But, you know, it's 35 watt stereo by 4. You know, bridged, it was putting out roughly 100. It didn't care if it was 4 ohms, 2 ohms, whatever. You know, it didn't care. I was surprised that this thing was stable at 2 ohms because I've had other amps that weren't. So, again, this thing was rated 100 watts times 4 from the, you know, the screen printing on the top. So anyways, crazy piece here. And you know, thanks for watching, and you know, continue to watch. You know, we got some more of this crazy stuff, but we've got some cool stuff too. We're still learning the ins and outs of the dyno. This is the first time we used the resistors, and that's kind of cool. It's a lot more consistent than using music because it's up and down and all over the place. So the load resistors worked pretty good, and it seemed to put out sort of the same amount of power whether I used the load resistors or the speakers themselves. At least when it was bridged, it seemed like, you know, the ratings were pretty similar. So anyways, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, tell your friends. I don't know, leave the link, you know, in bathroom stalls. I don't know what you're gonna do, but so anyways, appreciate it. More to come. Catch you next time.